Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Hello and welcome to Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. I'm Becky Parker-Geist and I'm your host. Audiobook Connection is your place to learn about the audiobook creative process and for authors to learn valuable tips on producing and marketing your audiobooks. This podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2023 and the Audiobook Connection podcast. Let's talk a little bit about what's in store coming up. Some of the things that we're seeing in the audiobook world, certainly the trend of growth in audiobooks continues, and I think that we're going to keep seeing more and more of that. One of the things that I'm expecting and that we're starting to see some early information about in trend information is that some of our top categories, or even some of the categories that have been really low in terms of the percentage of sales, are experiencing a new spurt of growth. One of those is in the children's and young adults area. Another is in self-help. The ongoing interest and appeal of the mystery, thriller, suspense category continues on, and romance is also holding strong. Even though the pandemic did certainly generate an increase or contribute to the ongoing growth, and I think that it still is in many ways, even though things have opened up and many people have gone back to work in person and are doing in-person events and such, we have definitely experienced many shifts as a result of the pandemic. One of the things that I think that we're seeing play out is that people who started or got more into audiobooks during the pandemic maybe got hooked. You know, I think that's one of the cool things about our industry is that once you start listening to audiobooks, you just can't get enough of it. I mean, that's a pretty common experience. Certainly, it's not everyone's experience, but it's really common. I hear it again and again. And I also think that as a result of the pandemic, when we were trying to either kind of reinvent ourselves with self-help information or have our kids getting more education or more entertainment through listening to audiobooks, I think these are some of the factors that we're seeing in play in the overall growth trend. What else is happening in the audiobook world? This is the year that the AMPlify Audiobooks app will launch, and we are imminent in that process right now, and hopefully by the time you actually hear this podcast, it will be live in the app stores. Now, if you've been listening to my podcast, you will have heard about this app already to some degree, and I just want to reiterate it again because it is such important information. A big challenge that we have in this industry is that authors, indie authors, who are carrying the burden of the expense, the creation, they're doing all the work, and yet the retail opportunities that they have for sale of those audiobooks are taking the vast majority of the audiobook royalties from each sale. From my perspective, I don't see that as a sustainable situation. Not only is it not sustainable, but it is unjust. And that's why I don't think it's sustainable. In our determination at Pro Audio Voices to support our clients and to support authors in the indie publishing world with their audiobooks, we have looked at this problem and done our part, are doing our part to change it, to disrupt this aspect of the industry because it needs disruption. AMPlify is not just an app, the AMPlify Audiobooks app. It is also a platform where authors can sell their audiobooks direct. And there are two things I want to highlight when I say that direct. So the first is that creating a platform for direct sales, there's a lot of complexity to being able to do that in the first place. Audiobooks are not a single object. They are a collection of audio files and metadata. And so having a website and a means by which to give an excellent customer user experience while also delivering that complex kind of project is tricky. By our creating AMPlify, we have taken on the burden of creating the platform, developing that and the app to work together so that authors can have success in that positive customer experience as well as themselves as in control. The second element I want to highlight is that even if you have a system whereby you can directly sell from your own website, and this is what the retail platforms try to offer, you don't have the collection of titles that is going to help your discoverability. So what I mean there is that when we go to, let's say, Libro FM as an audiobook retailer, and we are looking for a particular kind of book, there are going to be lots of titles there that may be of interest to us in any particular genre or by an author or narrated by a particular narrator. But that collection itself gives us that increased visibility and discoverability. If someone's looking for an audiobook, they maybe don't know about yours yet. So there's really great value in being in a place where people are already looking for audiobooks. This is one reason why I always encourage the widest distribution when it comes to how you're going to get your book out there. You want to be in all the different places where people may be looking. The challenge in being in places like Audible, Barnes & Noble, the big platforms, is that it's easy to get lost in the mix. So with AMPlify, what we have is a place where you have all that direct sale capability, the control, the higher royalties, your customer information that you get directly. We have all of that for you with the advantage of being in a place where with other authors, you can participate in a pool that is going to help with your discoverability. We're doing a huge push on AMPlify over this next year at least, and that's to let people know about it. And that's, when I say people, I mean not just authors, but also listeners. So we really want to build that platform because that's going to help everyone who is a part of it. You also have working with you a team that really wants to support you and help you achieve your goals. Let's pause for just a moment. We'll be right back.
Frustrated by the royalty rates for your audiobook? Annoyed that when the digital distributors say 70%, they actually mean 70% of 50% or 80% of 70%, neither of which is an actual 70%. Wishing there was a way to cut out or at least shrink the middleman. Yet, you want your audiobook listeners to have a smooth and positive experience, and a direct download sale from your website won't deliver that. Pro Audio Voices hears you. Out of our commitment to our author clients, we've created AMPlify, a program that provides an actual 65% royalties of the price you set. that gives you access to your customers' names and emails so you can reconnect with them and keeps you in the driver's seat. Check it out at proaudiovoices.com in the marketing menu.
Okay, and what else are we looking at in terms of the big picture for 2023? Another kind of new thing that has come across my path of awareness is there are now companies that are really actively pushing the AI, artificial intelligence, narrated audiobooks. And I'll say straight up that even though I'll admit at the front end, I have not heard any of these that are supposed to be supposedly really good narration. So I haven't heard any of those that have been AI narrated, but I have a really hard time believing that AI could possibly replace the nuanced kind of audiobook narration that you'll get with a human. I am the first to admit that there are many narrators who are working in the industry who are mediocre at best. And I'm willing to concede that there might be a possibility that a well-done AI might be better, but I'm having a hard time with that one. We're going to dive down that rabbit hole with Joshua Townsend coming up in another episode, another interview episode. And I'm really looking forward to that conversation because of our last conversation where we were really talking about what that spontaneous, true, emotionally connected, great narration that we are passionate about is all about, and how that happens, and how it holds the listener. So definitely tune in to that upcoming interview with Joshua Townsend. Again, I want to wish you a happy new year, and I hope that you'll spend some time with me on this podcast in 2023. As always, if you have any questions about audiobook production and marketing, please reach out to us at proaudiovoices.com. We're here for you to help inspire the world through the stories we help bring to life. Thanks for joining us for Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. Please take a moment to subscribe at audiobookconnection.com. The podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Learn more at proaudiovoices.com. Again, thanks for being with us, and please join us next week.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.